Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Saturday the 31st of July 2021. I want to see what the day is all about by looking at the Herbal Tarot and seeing what this deck of cards has to say about Saturday. So I always use this little guidebook when I use this deck for the herb meanings. So let's see what the cards have to say and what Saturday is going to look like. Okay, so first we have the Page of Cups. Then we have the Nine of Wands. Amazing. The Nine of Wands is like this theme of the summer, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. It's come up so often lately. It's really a huge prompt that we should enjoy our lives and that difficulties do come and go. But right now we're in a period where they're going. The worst is behind you. You've done so much. You've come such a long way. Just take your time out to enjoy your life. Okay, so we've got two court cards. So we've got influences which feel very personable, so they can arise from within you. You find yourself behaving in ways which are like, really? Is this what I'm doing? Or it's actual people who come into your life and who influence you or bring about a certain vibe. And then a minor arcana card, which is a temporary influence or an energy that keeps coming up at the moment. So the Page of Cups is someone who's emotionally inexperienced, but he longs for connection. And he wants to learn and he wants to grow and he wants to have a really meaningful emotional experience. So there's some sort of longing apparent in the day. There may be a desire for some sort of meaningful interaction or to hear some kind word or to do something charitable that helps other people and that makes you feel something. In terms of the herb, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Let's look for cups. So the Queen of Cups, the Page of Cups. A young, passionate youth, either male or female. A person easily aroused to action on any level, be it amorous, business-related, idealistic, aesthetic, or otherwise. Oh, and here it says it's an aphrodisiac. So we've got a big reaction that's possible. And when you set yourself up to be so emotionally kind of volatile, then often it makes things seem a lot more important than they really are. So if it goes well, if you try and connect with someone or something that means something to you, it will feel huge. It'll be a really life-changing experience and it'll make you feel wonderful. However, if it involves rejection or some sort of hardship, then the Page of Cups, part of the learning is that not everything does go your way and that some things are difficult, and then it's about managing the fallout. So emotionally, try and be somewhat reliant on your own experience and your own expertise and, you know, the fact that you've been there and done it before, rather than trying to live as if each moment is the last and every feeling you have is super, super important and it's like the last thing you'll ever experience. So try not to blow things out of proportion and kind of try and keep it realistic when it comes to anything business related and idealistic and aesthetic or amorous, which is easily said, but you know, if you really are in love with someone and you want something fabulous to happen and your hopes are really high and then nothing happens, it can be kind of an exercise in discipline to say, okay, just keep cool, keep calm. But the next card, the Bayberry Bark, Nine of Wands, is saying that you've experienced much worse than this. And do look at the big picture and realize that it is a good time to enjoy your life and to enjoy the way things are. And that, not each feeling is absolutely life-changing, and you have to take it to the level of, oh wow, I felt some sort of love or compassion or excitement, therefore I have to completely alter all of my circumstances. No, you can have the feeling and see what's trying to grab your attention, but then you can look at that and say, I have the time and space to act on this good thing or this bad thing whenever I want to. I don't have to run around and be at the mercy of every little thing that happens to me emotionally. I can look at the big picture and focus on the things that do bring me joy and that make me feel carefree today and like life is good and I'm out in the sunshine and I'm having a great time. So the 9 of Wands, Babery Bark, where's Wands? Suit of Wands, 9 of Wands. Okay, a standoff. The first recognition of what one is to do, what is really needed. Yeah, so it's new direction. The worst is behind me. This is what gives me a sense of pleasure and joy now. But because this says it's knowing what to do and the first recognition of that, it also now has to do with your life purpose. So it's about differentiating between feelings which are genuine and which are helpful. So something repetitive that says, this is a real talent of yours. This type of activity or work is something that you can do well. It gives you a sense of pleasure and a job well done. Why don't you explore that? And why don't you come out of the forest and into the light and pursue one thing that's really simple and that stokes that inner fire? So it can be muddling your way through those kind of pesky, temporary emotional blips that are likely to come up and to say, what is it that I can move towards in a serious way, or it's simply not getting into the feeling side too much and looking at what you can enjoy in the day and keeping it very simple and saying, yes, we all have feelings and problems and goals and aspirations and dreams we have to deal with, but sometimes it's okay to look back a little bit. What is it they say? Glance back, don't stare, that kind of thing. So don't get obsessed with the future, but don't forget it altogether and realize how far you've come. And that it is a time to celebrate, and the world is good to you right now, and it would benefit you really to make the most of that. Finally, we've got the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is a card that's unsure. It's like, do I act or do I not act? Do I learn and hold back a little bit? Or do I, charge off and put my own stamp on things? I don't know how to say this either. So the herbal meaning here, thoughts about business and finances, schemes, securities, savings, and so forth. Service, loyalty, steadfastness, a good working partner, though not very inspiring. Okay, so it has to do with work and money. So again, life purpose, feelings distracting you somewhat, then the uncertainty of the Knight of Pentacles, all relating to what is it that brings me joy in life. So because there's a lack of certainty, try and see what actually, let the thing that lights you up in life, let it demonstrate that. And engage with something that really brings you joy, and just make sure. Do a little bit of extra research, and before you do gallop off and commit to something, find out what it is that actually makes you happy. It's interesting because in my experience, if you make a decision about something and you're really uncertain about it, like, do I stay or do I go? Do I invest or do I not? Making a decision while everything is really up in the air and you really have no way of making a decision, even when you're on the other side of it, like you have chosen left over right or up over down, then there's always that kind of niggling sense that, what if I'd done the other thing? And in my experience, it's much better to wait until the kind of seesaw comes down on one side or the other, and then to decide, because then you're not looking over your shoulder afterwards. And it frees you up. So I really think this is a day about enjoying. And yes, looking at your work and being busy with that. And also, managing your own emotions effectively is okay. But I think fundamentally, because everything is okay in these areas, there aren't major traumas and crises. There aren't, earthquakes and things erupting on a financial, practical level. And because things are relatively quiet, I think it's a good time to really celebrate yourself and your experience and how far you've come. Also, all of these young men, there's a level of inexperience here. So we could move forward or we may hold back. Maybe we need to look at this a bit more. Maybe we need to research. The most mature out of all of them is this guy in the Nine of Wands. And he's actually been and come from where these two men have been. And he's now grown up a little bit, and he doesn't have to deal with all the conflict on a constant, non-stop basis. Because both of these things are exhausting. I crave, I long for some sort of meaningful emotional thing. I want to understand when I act and what I commit to and when I hold back. I mean, both of those are real long-term things that you grow into. And again, I've noticed that we don't really spend a lot of time celebrating those kind of very subtle issues, and we just jump head on into the next problem. So I really think it's a good time for a time out to celebrate where you are in life, and that things seem to be ticking along nicely. Number-wise, we've got chord cards, which count as 1. So 1 and 1 is 2, and 9 is 11. Yeah, 1 and 9 is 10, and 10 and 1 is 11, and 11 is the master number of service. So be of service to yourself by having a good time and glancing back and celebrating all the good stuff that you do have in your life, and that will thereby inspire other people who look to you as someone who is doing it, is living a good life, is overcoming obstacles, is focusing on the good stuff, on the positive, and having a grand old time. I mean, if that's not inspirational, So have a fabulous day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on Book Your Reading to audio reading with me. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and share the video online. Have a wonderful day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.